Dear Gambians, please stay home and remain safe, and please believe that COVID-19 is real. We cannot thank our many trained doctors, nurses, and administrators in the Gambia enough as they work under stressful conditions these days to keep our sick people comfortable. And, we appreciate that our medical professionals, our healthcare workers are doing their best as we wait for a cure to help ease the burden of their shoulders. But it is always good to remember now and then that these medical personnel are risking their lives every day for us all. So the least that we can do is stay home, remain safe, wear a mask, and not add more strain to their job. I mean, the government of the Gambia is already making the job of our healthcare workers very difficult with the mishandling of coronavirus, of this coronavirus pandemic. But as citizens, we have to do our part. Until a vaccine is produced, we will have to demonstrate significant behavioral change, and hope for some kind of herd immunity, right? Unfortunately, Adama Barrow's government has been in power for 3 years, and they still had no plans. They still have no plans to upgrade the Gambia's healthcare system so that Gambians who suffered from other serious illnesses before coronavirus even ever came along could have been treated, and they wouldn't probably be losing their lives right now. Now we are all extremely concerned about how the government plans to handle the possible immense surge of Gambians that may become infected with the virus all at once if this is not controlled and as we wait for a cure. It is so disappointing to me that the Gambia government failed to establish an aggressive contact tracing and isolation strategy for people entering the country to control the spread of the virus in the Gambia. People were coming, actually people were and still are, I suspect, coming in and out of the country, refusing to self-isolate and protect others, protect themselves, protect the country. An attitude which actually, I'm going to say this, is very selfish. I must add that. It's very selfish for those Gambians who did this. And remember the first case we heard about? I believe he was the spiritual teacher or Marabu or some kind of religious lecturer. I can't remember. But he came into the Gambia and he died. He wasn't Gambian though, but he came into the Gambia and he died. But not before he had possibly had contact with many people, dozens of people coming into town. Now that could have been patient zero for Gambia, that man right there. But still no serious action from the government of the Gambia. We don't have the resources to fight coronavirus. If this gets out of control, how are we going to fight it? But we could have and still can use the money we have now to create the resources that will help stop the spread. We just have to have a plan. The Minister of Health has to work with doctors and perhaps create a task force to figure this out. And the fact is he cannot do this alone, and we should not expect him to, but he needs to gather some people together and create a task force, and they need to figure this out. We need to educate Gambians not only on ways to wash their hands or wear masks or stay at home or self-isolate, but also on the cheapest ways to boost their immune systems using what they have access to, fruits and vegetables, exercise. Young people, help your elderly exercise, walk with them. Okay? And I'm begging these young people of the Gambia not to go to the nightclubs and all these black and white pool parties that I see people advertising out there. I think it is actually very irresponsible for club owners to open up at a time like this. Come on now, shut them down, please. You could be saving so many lives. This is not the time to open up your clubs. Please. And kids, this is not the time for parties. Young people, you need to be responsible. If the club owners are not going to be responsible and close down their clubs, then you do this. You be responsible. Protect your elders. Avoid these kind of gatherings. There is so much life ahead of you, and you have so much time to party and club, But we also need our elders around to support and guide us, to support and advise us. They're the wise ones. Okay? Another thing I wanted to point out is that these days our elderly and people who are or who have no formal education navigate modern technology every day. You see them on their cell phones, and they're making phone calls and listening to messages and watching videos, and on WhatsApp, listening to all sorts of messages that come on there. The government of the Gambia should use these platforms as ways to sensitize the masses, besides just radio and television and just the internet. Send citizens an audio or video that you have made. They click on it and they have access to vital information from the government of the government of the Gambia, so they understand what you're up to. But I don't understand. If this government spent billions or millions or whatever they spent in response to COVID-19, and then why are people dying and suffering? What did they do with this money? But these days we are seeing like so many obituary announcements. People we know personally and people we know of. And as we pray for them, we're also scared for ourselves, those of us in the diaspora, worried about our families back home, the uncertainty of it all. What is the government doing? Coronavirus is real. So we really have to be able to depend on the government of the Gambia to handle this pandemic in a responsible manner. I'm sorry, I'm getting upset. Let me calm down a little. We cannot have a president that is so distracted by power that even in a pandemic, he is gathering his supporters for campaign purposes, disregarding the fact that this could increase the spread of coronavirus in the Gambia. He should be setting good examples. A leader and his cabinet that refuse to take the seriousness of COVID-19 seriously and puts the citizens of his nation at risk must be condemned and held responsible for the deaths of these citizens. What's happening in Gambia is causing me anxiety, I'm telling you. Now, that's added to my anxiety that I already have here in the United States. And, it's exhausting. It's causing everybody stress and anxiety. And I know people are treating coronavirus like something to be ashamed of in the Gambia. It's not. Get help, get support, and let's be open about it. We need to save our people. We need to save we need to survive as a nation. We continue to pray for all our people and the rest of the world. I hope that we survive this, and I think we will. We will. I know we will. May we recover from these unusual and scary times and go back to some kind of normal. And let's continue to pray for the souls of those people we love who are no longer with us. I also would like to say that, we hope that the vice president of the Gambia is getting better and getting the care that she needs. And we hope that she is, back to her normal self again. We pray that she is back to her normal self again, and we hope that maybe she reevaluates her past performances, public performances, and makes some adjustments, But most importantly, I hope that she also takes it upon herself to truly join the fight against the coronavirus and push her boss and those in charge to take this virus seriously once she gets better. But first, we pray for her complete recovery. We pray for everybody that's affected by coronavirus to feel better, to get better. We're praying, and we are praying. What affects you affects me. So I do not want nothing to happen to you, because if it happens to you, it happens to me. it doesn't matter where you are in Gambia, in America. We all need to just wish each other well, and support each other. And yes, we're gonna blame the government, but we also need to do our part. Okay, guys? Okay, and young people, Malendinyan, you know, topoto len sen maki kilifa yi. Huh? The elderly, the seniors, them len gen dohan to aknyom. Tia len sen lohan gen them achalen you them dohan to me. We need to boost your immune system. You guys are young and energetic, you know, so you're the ones that are supposed to support those of us that are growing, you know, getting older, you know. Force us to walk and run and, you know, do you, but also encourage your elderly, you know. You know, feed them the right kind of foods, fruits and vegetables, you know. And yeah, this is all I have to say, Gambia. You know, stay safe, you know, safe, you know, stay safe, you know, and continue to wash those hands. And, you know, besides just washing your hands, we need to, you know, we also need to learn how to boost our immune system. You know, there's so many other things that we need to do to protect ourselves. You know, just let's protect ourselves, Gambia. You know, it's really sad. You know, waking up every day, you know, coming on Facebook and seeing the obituaries is just really stressing me out, and I'm sure it's stressing everyone out. Okay, yeah, and again, for those of you that have businesses that are non-essential, like nightclubs and just, you know, those of you that want to have pool parties and all sorts of stuff, please don't do it. Shut it down. You know, you're saving lives by shutting it down. I promise you are. Okay? All right. Well, thank you guys for watching and listening. I appreciate it.